Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming here to this session. It's a very hard hour, no? Last day after lunch. Buenas tardes a todos. Hay muchos amigos de LATAM aquí en la sesión. Pues así que muchas gracias a todos por asistir. My name is Alberto Torres. I'm Solution Architect in Spain, based in Madrid. And it's a pleasure for me to present this presentation with José Antonio Polo. He is the Global Account Manager for Telefonica. And David Bericat. David Bericat is the Global Partner, is in the Global Partner IoT team. Red Hat is investing a lot in working with partners like Telefonica and creating solutions like the one that we are going to present today. So let's go with the agenda.
Yeah, before to start, and I agree with my colleagues, it's a really pleasure to have you here in this session. I really want to give thanks to Telefonica. Telefonica and as we were preparing this use case together, but unfortunately due to the agenda problems they couldn't be here. They have another huge event in Miami and they couldn't be here with us. But we made it possible together, and it's a really pleasure to tell this in front of you. Today, maybe some of you know Telefonica, but the first point is to introduce our customers. That is Telefonica, an overview. It's a brief introduction about Telefonica. And inside this complex world that is Telefonica, where exactly we were working together with this IoT, this smart city business, because we are going to talk about business as a solution, but at the end it's something real, something that is happening in one of the top 5 Spanish cities, that is Valencia, and we are going to show you what we are doing and what the citizens are doing in this city with Telefonica and based in our solution. Then we will speak this. The presentation is going to be in a drilled down way. We are going to explain general issues, and then we will explain high level architecture about the IoT platforms and components. And what are the most important things? Where and why Red Hat in this business? We will end the presentation according to our understanding and according to the partner that is Telefonica understanding. What is the next step? And then, if you have any question, please go ahead. We will try to do our best. We know that it's not the best time, but we really appreciate that you are here. Actually, we had a very small budget for inviting you a beers, but you are more than we expected. So we have to cancel this, unfortunately. But from 7, you are invited to all the beers that you could drink. So thank you very much for being here again. So, who is Telefonica? Telefonica is a Spanish company, Spanish multinational with the headquarters in Madrid, with presence in more than 21 countries, in EMEA, and in Europe, in Germany, UK, and Spain, and then basically in all the LATAM from Miami to Chile. There are more than 125,000 people working directly for Telefonica, and they have more than 300 million accesses. So we could say that Telefonica is one of the top 10 telecom operators worldwide. It's a huge company. It's a very, very complex company, but at the same time, it's one of the technological points and entry points and references worldwide. They have the updated results about more than 10, almost 11 billion euros consolidated revenues during the first quarter, but just for your information, in a year they are talking about 50 billion. So we are talking about a huge, huge company. Because Telefonica is a huge company, this IoT project, this Internet of Things project, this smart city is belonging to one of the global organizations that is called TBS, Telefonica Business Solution. Basically, the function of this global organization is to build up the offering from Telefonica to sell to the different customers worldwide. Not just in these 21 countries, in more than 45 countries, Telefonica is offering these solutions, and the smart cities is one of them, and not just it. So we have just for waking up in a small video with some music to explain you what is Telefonica Business Solution. So please, David, go ahead. Well, just a brief introduction. You know, Telefonica Business Solution. We are talking about business always, and we are part of this world. And we are part of this world, not just with the IoT, but with other issues that we are doing, other business and other projects that we are doing with Telefonica Business Solution that, as I said before, is a global organization. Well, I'm not going to spend so much time on this slide. This is the vision that they have for the smart cities. And the smart cities is just a small part of the IoT, one of the verticals that they have that we will take a look later on. This basically machine-to-machine, that is what we are talking about, enables the intelligent interaction between objects. Yeah, they make our life easier. That at the end is the target for this. They are making business, and we are. And they are making our life easier than this. We have another video. This is important because I could explain what they are doing, but it's better if they explain by themselves what Telefonica is thinking about this and what is the Telefonica's understanding about this smart cities world.
This has become possible. In fact, it works better and costs less than what we're doing. So let's explore how. 4/5 of the world's energy still...
This is the other plane. Thank you, YouTube.
Well, we prefer to show in a couple of videos just directly from the customer, that everyone could see that it is something real. It's a solution. It's a business for them. It's a business for us. Then we try to include this tiny diagram that really I don't know what it is. Maybe David could explain something about this. I guess there is some Gartner's report, but I don't know, because when we started this project more than 1 year ago with Telefonica, my first questions to them was, what are you doing on the IoT? You have to be everywhere? And they told me yes. So maybe this graphic shows what Telefonica is doing and in which way, because it's quite impressive according to the Gartner's report. So could you show up?
Sure. Can you hear me well? Yeah? This is a graphic, the Magic Quadrant from Gartner, and it's really cool and it's really dangerous showing that in San Francisco in the United States, right? Because Telefonica is not only positioned here as one of the leaders in the machine-to-machine or smart cities space, but it is, in terms of vision, even more advanced than huge telco companies like AT&T and Verizon, right? So we don't know whether we wanted to put this here or not to create a little conflict, but I think it validates the vision, it validates what Telefonica is doing, it validates the platform, it also validates that their vision and the way that they're innovating with Red Hat has a huge recognition among not only partners and customers, but also the analysts, right? So we wanted to talk about that too.
Yeah, thank you, David. It's just to show you that Telefonica is not just carrier communications. They are pretty involved on the digitalization world with this kind of solutions. And then when we were talking about to present and to show to everyone this in our summit, they told us, hey, we are working as well, and we just signed an agreement for mobility. And this is a global agreement, global alliance between Red Hat and Telefonica worldwide. And this is part of the IoT world. So at the end, we have to land and we have to use these all solutions and technologies in our normal life. How to use it? With multiple devices, hyperconnectivity. We have iPads, we have iPhones, or we have computers. So we have to connect everything. And now, over the top, we propose to Telefonica to use as well our mobile platform, Red Hat mobile platform, to make it easier, this transition, and not just for developing some applications on the mobile side, but as well on the fixed world. And this is what we are doing with them. This is just one slide to show you that we are evolving, and then we are starting talking about the IoT. We are talking about smart cities. Now we are talking about the mobility. That is a hot topic worldwide as well. And Red Hat is there, and we already signed 1 month ago a global agreement with them. And we are using this platform not just for the IoT, but for other purposes with partners. So how they organize this world, this IoT world, how they can use this platform mobilizing the world, that is what we call. They have horizontal solutions, what basically they have a IoT platform, and we are part of this platform with one of the solutions. And then they are managing the devices and the connectivity with other solutions as well. So, and then talking about business, what they are doing is verticalizing the different business that today they understand that they can go to the market, like fleet management, connected car, utilities, or smart cities. Now smart cities is a reality, and other ones as well, and smart cities are a reality in Valencia. Valencia is a Spanish city, one of the top 5 Spanish cities, and now is really a smart city according to the understandings that we have in a telco world. So, I'm not going to stop here on this slide. Everybody knows the benefits in a smart city. There are benefits for everyone. Benefits for the citizens, benefits for the city, benefits for the company that are deploying this. So at the end, this is a real business, and we are going to show you today how it works. Maybe you, David, could show you how it works in a real world. What we are doing in Valencia, when we are visiting Valencia, and it's in the coast, and we need to look for a parking place, for instance.
Sure. What Valencia wanted to do was to create a platform that they could use as a single unique point of contact where all the citizens, public administrations, companies, traffic, entities, et cetera, could interact all together, publishing information and consuming information to enabling better citizen satisfaction, better traffic, create new models for small organizations that are working there. And they created these, there's a standard going on in the European Union that is called FIWARE. FIWARE is it's a recommendation about how and what a smart city should have. So Telefonica created this platform, a global platform, based on this fireware standard. They have an architecture very, very high level where they use several IoT agents to connect to several entities that are there. They're using APIs. You know that APIs management in IoT is another hot topic that we, Red Hat, are investing a lot. You saw the announcement regarding 3Scale. It is not only about getting the data, but it's how you offer that data to create or take better decisions, predict things. So it's also about big data and predictive analytics, business intelligence, and obviously this is done by a combination with the Red Hat partnership, right? We wanted to tell you a couple of data or dates that are fantastic. You see, we always at Red Hat talking about standards and open standards, right? Who would have thought 1 year ago or 5 years ago that we had an ISO 37120 to say, hey, you're certified as a smart city, and there's only 12 cities, including Valencia, in the world that right now has these recognition, right? So what they basically do is get information from several data sources, and they offer that information through open data sets. They have more than 120 that they offer to anybody that they want to use that to create new business models or basically develop new mobile applications or just interact with that, right? So we have a couple of examples here that we wanted to show you. First, they have an open data platform. You can call this a demo, right? We have videos, we have demos here, we have everything, right? So they basically create dashboards with several KPIs. This is real-time information about Valencia right now, right? You can navigate that. You can see how many, these are the bicycle stations right now, how many bicycles you have per region, how many of them, how many bicycles you have. You have several statistics like how many containers to throw trash of several types you have over there. You have statistics about the gardens. You have things about several other things, right? So what is interesting here is that they use that in a transparent way. You know that for a public administration, transparency is something that it is unnegotiable. You have to do that, right? And they have several data catalogs with those 120 data sets that you can consume and you can use to do things like this, right? I'm going to show you, and if you go to Valencia, and we had a very nice discussion with one of the Latin guys that he's going to Valencia in a couple of weeks. And I said, hey, go to the App Store, download the Valencia application. It's real. I have it on my mobile. And when you start doing crazy things like, hey, I'm here, I want to know where I have a museum, what hours do you have, or restaurants, or several other things, think about and tell your kids and your family that it is using Red Hat technology, right? So we thought that is cool. We didn't want to show you the app because it's in Spanish and it's multi-language, but we have another video here so you can see how you can create and leverage mobile applications in this omni-channel strategy that Red Hat and Telefonica has to consume that information as a citizen, right? I'm not putting the video here, the voice, because it's in Spanish, right? So, but basically they have a real-time application where you can interact with the public administration, you can create tramits, register things, you can say it's geolocated, so it tells you, hey, I'm here, what do I have around, how can I interact with the city. You can see traffic in real time, you can interact with parkings to see, hey, I want to go there, how many parkings do I have in the area, are they full or not full, how many open positions, and that is everything in real time, right? Multi-platform, multi-channel. This application is not using Red Hat mobile platform because they created that before we had the global agreement, but we wanted to show you a real example. It's a real app. Go download it and play with them, especially the Spanish guys that understand Spanish, right? But is there, right? And that's the cool thing. Let me drill down a little bit, because you've seen a lot of different examples. We wanted to center the conversation with a real example. Let me talk to you about the parkings that I briefly introduced. This is actually what they've been doing for the last year. What they have is they're integrating, Alberto will talk much more detail in a minute about that, but they have, I would say, 57 parkings that they want to integrate. As you might know, or as you might imagine, not all of them speak the same language, right? So it's kind of difficult to get information from several systems, several languages, and in real time offer that availability to citizens and customers, clients, or even companies that their business model is related to the parking or public transportation in real time through a mobile application, right? So we wanted to talk about the challenges that we have here. Alberto is the one that is very close to the project. So Alberto, please, could you explain us a little bit?
Yeah, as you said, the main challenge that we have with the parkings is that Valencia has 57 parkings, some public parkings, some private parkings, but some of them are quite old, so it's quite complex to get information from these parkings, and some of them are completely the opposite, no? Are pretty new with new technologies, so it's difficult to get information from all these parkings, compose homogeneous data, and provide this information and this data to Valencia systems and to the smart city platforms. No? Next slide. This is a very high-level architecture. We will go into the details later, but just to show what we have done is create some services just to be able to connect with the different parkings, to be able to get information from them. Just take the advantages of the smart city platform, Telefonica smart city platform, connect with the Valencia systems, and provide all this data to the apps, web apps, different systems, and at the end to provide this information for the customers.
Thank you, Alberto. What is the key component here, and what is the core to make this happen? What is the making homogeneous? No, you mentioned parking from 40 years ago, parking from 1 year ago. What is the core here, David?
Yeah, as you might imagine, it's not something that you were not expecting. Okay, guys. So this is where the Telefonica Smart City platform, as we said, global platform, is sitting down. It is the key component that makes this possible, standardizing and making the heterogeneous environment homogeneous, right? So let me very briefly introduce you high level regarding to this 5-word standard, what they have. They have several sensors and several devices and systems that are out there in the city, right? And they are getting information. They have a information acquisition layer that is getting all that data, and they are registering that data in what they call a data broker or a context broker with several standards. Basically, what they do is register in real time everything that is happening there. So they can, on the one hand, offer that data to big data applications and systems that they have to predict and understand patterns like traffic consumption, how they can optimize the traffic and several other things, analytics, and obviously how they offer that data to the end user or citizen in this open data platform that I just showed you with several dashboards, KPIs, and obviously this is important. This is an open architecture, open data, is free for everybody, so obviously the alignment with the Red Hat vision, it's there, right? If we jump into a more high-level architecture, you see here several IoT agents, the context broker. I'll stop there in a minute right away. They have complex event processing capabilities. They have a portal and several others, right? But we can introduce where Red Hat is already, and it's in the integration part of the curation to get and be this glue that can take information from several systems through this enterprise service bus. And another cool thing, and it's pretty great, right? Because as you might imagine, this platform should be cloud ready at some point, right? But it should be also multi-tenant. You can have this global platform in several cities, several even countries, right? So it is running on OpenStack, and I would like Jose Antonio to explain the road and the pathway that we've been dealing with Telefonica regarding OpenStack, because it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, as you can see, we were starting talking about the IoT and smart cities, then we moved to mobility, and now we are talking about OpenStack, and it's the same project. So we started to talk with Telefonica about OpenStack more than 3 years ago. And at that time, we started to explore the different possibilities with OpenStack, and this at the end has been one of them. And this is not belonging to the Telefonica business solution. So the responsible for this platform is the global CTO. That is another global organization that is carrying on the different, what they call DSN, digital service business. The new business are going to carry on this OpenStack platform, that is a Red Hat OpenStack platform, what is quite interesting. And this is allocated in the biggest data center in Europe that is belonging to Telefonica as well, in Alcalá de Henares, in Madrid, in one of the cities very close. So we can say that all these digital new business, like smart cities, but not just smart cities, are carried on our platform. It has not been an easy way to do it. We were working with them for more than 2 years, but now it's a reality. We are upgrading to the latest version, so we can say that we have basically our piece for OpenStack, then another with Fuse, then we have the mobility, and we are partners. That is, I like very much this. We are a key strategic partners for them. We are making business together, and this is one of the examples to show to everyone what can we do. So,
yep.
Nothing to say.
Thank you, Jose Antonio. That was pretty great. So I won't go into a lot of details here, but we wanted to put that into the presentation so you guys could use that in the future, right? But basically, it's again open architecture, open standards. They are using MQTT over JSON. If we wanted to put some real technical data here to cover the technical folks that are over there, wave your hand, something like that. But they're using MQTT over JSON. They have APIs. They have the context broker that is using another standard that is being created in telco. It's called NGSI 10 and 9. It's nothing but a REST interface with a special structure, if you will. So what they do basically is they have publishers where they update or query information. They register that to the context broker, and then they notify that to the consumers, right? So it's pretty understandable. They also have several other things to store the information. They do ATLs. They do something Hadoop ready. They do database analytics, and they do a lot of other things, right? Like big data and complex event processing.
Very interesting at this time. Very. But
I know where you're going.
Yeah, I know. Would you tell us exactly why and where? This is pretty interesting, but maybe.
I know where you were going.
Yeah.
Where is Red Hat, right? Red Hat is here, right? Within the platform. Well, what they do is they adopted JBoss Fuse, our integration offering, as the core component within the platform because of several reasons, right? One is open, is flexible, is lightweight. You have out of the box more than 150 connectors to interact with any system that you might imagine. They're also working with us in developing with the system integrator ecosystem some of the others. They're based on the enterprise integration patterns that you all know, and what they basically do is they put camel routes in the entry points where the information is coming from the producers. they transform that information to NGSA, and they register that to the context broker, and the other way around, right? It's in and it's out. When someone, any system wants this information, they do the other way around. They get information from the context broker, they transform that information to whatever format that the end consumer needs, and they deliver that, right? So it is pretty cool. I wanted to, once I explain why Fuse is a core component there, we wanted to let you know how, from the global platform, we land up in how this is applied to the actual Valencia use case. So Alberto, please.
Yep. So we are going to look at the architecture in a little more detail. And well, the previous situation before using the Smart Cities platform was that there was no real information at all, and was impossible as well, not only to connect the old systems, was impossible to be flexible with new parkings, connect the old parkings, was impossible to provide all this information to the citizens. So at the end, with the Smart Cities platform and with Fuse, as David has told before, Fuse is an enterprise layer based on 3 components. One of them is CXF. We are able to create web services and REST services with CSF. A message broker, ANQ, very powerful, and camel routes for integration and transforming messages. No, so go ahead. Here, what we have done is, starting with the parkings, okay, we have created a services layer, okay, to be able to get the information from all the parkings, okay. Once we have this information in the Smart City platform, we are able to send this information to the Valencia systems, okay. And there, because on the Valencian system they have a repository with all the information of the parkings, and the first thing that they do is to validate the information, because it's possible that for some reason any parking has a problem at that moment and they don't want to send this information. So they validate the information, they provide more information, because not all the parkings are able to send all the information that is needed for the apps that has to consume this information. So at the end, they put more value in the message, and when the information is validated and the information is consolidated, they send this information again to the Smart City platform. They put a message in a ANQ broker, in the message broker, and then again we have a camel route that consume these messages and send these messages to the context broker. And once all the information is in the context broker, we are able to provide all this information to the apps, to the citizens, and all the systems that are around the Smart City platform.
Okay, thank you very much. But we shouldn't stop here. I mean, we were talking about, as I mentioned before, IoT, smart cities, machine-to-machine, mobility. We were talking about OpenStack. But I think that the show must go on, no, David? So what's next? We're talking about business. So
you like Win too?
we have to pay your new car. Tell me, how?
That's fine.
Okay.
So what Red Hat is doing for the past, I would say, couple of years is trying to, and with pretty good success, I would say, my team, the global partner organization team, we put a structure together to work with partners like Telefonica and some of the others, like Accenture, the session that we had on Tuesday. Basically, what we're doing is trying to get functionality that used to be living only and was available only in the data center closer to the edge, right? Why? First of all, because with the IoT explosion, you're going to have several devices. You're going to have not devices, but things, people, buses, bicycles. You're going to have subways. You're going to have parkings. You're going to have you go to the side of how we can optimize, make cities more sustainable in terms of lights or in terms of when I'm giving water, depending on several temperatures, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a whole ecosystem of things living in the city. If you go to connected cars, you're going to jump into connected homes. You're going to have more and more and more things sending information, right? So if you think about all the billions of things that everyone is predicting there are several strategies to deal with that. Obviously, when you have a small POC or pilot, it is easy to say, hey, that's easy. Let's take all the messages, let's send that over to the cloud directly or to my data center, and we'll be fine, right? That's easy when you have very few. When you have several hundred, several thousands, or several millions of things sending silly or stupid information like, hey, I'm here, it is 10:34, it is 31 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. It is 10 seconds after same, 10 seconds after the same. You don't want to stress the network, and you don't want to send all that information that is silly, is stupid to your data center. Why? Because they are a telco company. They have the network. So they want to optimize the amount of data that you send over the network, because if they use that in this stupid information, they are not using that in other things that people are paying much more money, like videos or things like that, right? So they want to optimize the bandwidth. How do they do that? In Red Hat, within, and you've seen the amazing work that we've been doing with several other partners like Eurotech. We released this week one gateway from Eurotech, the Red Hat 2026, powered by Red Hat, that run RHEL, ANQ, Fuse, and BRMS, and that is able to sit in far beyond the data center, gathering that data, process the data, transform that, summarize that, and optimize the amount of messages. Instead of sending 1,000, you can send only one with the actual status, discard the rest of the things, and taking actual informations using business rules and business logic that obviously you can improve over time, pre-processing the amount of messages that you're using so you're not stressing the data center and the cloud, right? So this is what Red Hat is doing right now. We hopefully will be able to help Telefonica in the future with this vision or much more things in the data center that you can see here, but I don't know.
Yeah, well,
what do you think?
I'm pretty sure we're on the way. We're on the way. If you take a look at what we are doing with Telefonica, I really appreciate the support from our colleagues from Telefonica to make it happen. We are using open solutions. I was working for a long time with other companies on this field, and now this is a reality, using the open source world, talking about trendy solutions and cool solutions like OpenStack, like mobility, like our middleware. So I think that this is very important, that these huge companies as Telefonica, that deploying these kind of services, because this could replicate everywhere. So this is one of the most important things with these open standards. And now this is a reality, and we are part of it. So we are very proud as Red Hat being part of this world. And at the same time, we are helping the citizens. That is one of our policies. No? So
I think we can
I don't know if you have any question regarding this project.
We wanted to give you guys 10
we have
minutes,
10 minutes,
15 minutes for questions.
And if you don't have any question, we really, again, appreciate that you are here. We know that you are here. Oh, there is a question? No.
Several.
No.
Go ahead.
What do you use for big data? Do you use Hadoop or Untitled, or do you use Cloudera or
I don't have that information because that is one of the components within the Telefonica's global platform that we're not working with them right now. So I can tell you they're using Hadoop pure open source project, or if they are using anything coming from Cloudera or Horton. Just for the rest of the audience, he was asking if they are using Cloudera, Horton, or any other players of the market, enterprise within the big data. So
Yeah.
I don't know the answer.
But the target for this global organization is always to work with open source, always, if they can.
My question is if it's supported or no.
Yeah.
They are supported.
We-
They make support for Hadoop.
We don't know. I personally don't know. Yeah, I think they have here several open source projects like Hive, HCAT, etc. But I don't know if they're using any commercial offering, to be honest. We had a question over there.
Yeah, the devices and the sensors, what's the percentage of those that are using cellular in order to communicate back to the platform versus Wi-Fi or maybe some other access technology?
Yeah, that's a very good question. He's asking what is the, on average, amount of devices out there in a smart city that they're using cellular or versus any other Wi-Fi or et cetera, right? It's a pretty good question, and we don't have numbers for that, but having this discussion with Telefonica, what they are thinking is that there's going to be a whole community and ecosystem of things using several protocols or mechanisms, right? In the case of the parking, I can tell you that it's going to be probably Wi-Fi. I don't know, Alberto, you have more information, but in a parking, it makes sense that you have a Wi-Fi connectivity or connection, right? If you're talking about people generating information, they probably will be using their mobile, so it's using cellular. If you talk about different things going on in gardens or in parks, something like that, I know that there's a lot of activity in several companies creating small hardware devices that can create a network, so they are not having cellular connections, each of them, because they can be thousands or millions, right? So they can create a network. They are connected in a mass-up way, so they send information to any other, and then just use one channel to connect to the data center. We're seeing that with Zigbee, with any other thing. So it really depends on the use case, but I can tell you that, for example, with our Eurotech partner, they have in the gateways the possibility of using almost any protocol, right? They have what they call a relay cell. Relay cell is, I would say, a small component that allows you to insert any card from any provider. Obviously, Telefonica will use their network, right? But they also can use Wi-Fi and any other. So that's a very good question. It's going to be a little bit of everything. More questions? Luis?
Do they have any plans to use this to actually actuate in some way in the city? So like shut down parking if it's at full capacity. So not only like taking up information and analyzing it, but actually doing something with that, with actuator or something.
Sure. So that's a very good question. Is that Luis was asking if they are only based or right now doing the ingestion layer where you get the information and you do things with that, or you're actually actuating and taking decisions in the city by itself, right? I can tell you that they are right now very focused on the parking thing. So they are in that regards, only consuming the information and offering the information to the citizens. If I want to go to the theater and I need a parking, I know what parking should I go, right? I can tell you that plans are, if I know the traffic and the current status of, if I have, I don't know, an accident or something like that going on, or I have some streets closed already, I can not only offer you the best thing for you according to the parking availability spots, but also the optimal route, and they give back in a way optimizing the traffic. So there's a lot of conversation going on about how they can change in real time the suggestions that they give you. So in a way, they are driving you and they are taking decisions and they are impacting you about how you are optimizing and going, and they are doing the same with public transportation and they're doing the same with several others, right? Public transportation, it's a cool one because they know depending on how many people are waiting in several bus stops or subways or something like that, they can adjust the frequency of the trains that they are sending and things like that, right? So definitely it's the way to go. Yeah.
With the new parkings, for instance, they are able to communicate with them, but they speak our language, new technologies, and we are able. Right now, they are sending information to those parkings. But keep in mind that there are a lot of parkings and there are a lot of devices that are quite old, and it's very difficult to get information from those systems. So just to send information to those systems is almost impossible.
Yeah. Any other question? Nope.
Well,
we wanted to, before Jose Antonio closes, we want to let you know that we have also another session, IoT related, going on, how to connect your analog system or business to a digital world. It's 4:45. Probably all of you are going already to grab a beer or a glass of wine, but in case you're interested, please go ahead. It's going to be a very nice session. We have several IoT. You want to find out more in Red Hat, developers of redhat.com, and obviously in Telefonica Smart Cities. And from my point of view, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure that my colleagues want to thank you, so please go ahead.
No, well, just to say thank you very much. Coming at this time, we know that it's difficult.
Yeah.
What I hope is just has been an interesting presentation for you. As you can see, we are working very active with different operators. Telefonica is one of them. Remember that we can replicate this wherever you want. Actually, we were talking with some colleagues here in LATAM to do it possible as well. And thank you again to you. Thank you again to Telefonica. And I hope that you have a very good afternoon. Today is the last day, so let's fun. You have a very special drinks for coming to this presentation outside. Feel free. And thank you very much again.